Bitcoin's an asset, but it's not just an asset. It's the most valuable asset in the world. It's property. It's not just some property. It's the most valuable property in the world. It's a network. It's not just some network. It's the most valuable network in the world. It's a defense system. It's not just some defense system. It's the most valuable defense system in the world. We bought 80% of the United States for $40 million. It was a good deal. Superpowers are defined by literally power: naval power, land power, air power, nuclear power. The British proved that. The Romans had to beat the Carthaginians and prove that. John D. Rockefeller gave the United States the majority of all the chemical power in the world. That's why we won those wars. The 21st century is digital. Bitcoin is digital. It's a digital asset, digital property, a digital network. It's a digital shield. It's a digital defense system. There's only one of them. Only one country can control it. There's only one room for one superpower. You either control the Atlantic and the Pacific, or somebody else did. The reason the Romans had to kill the Carthaginians is because only one nation could control the Mediterranean. And Bitcoin represents this most powerful emerging digital phenomena. The country has an economic challenge. We have to pay off our debt, but there's smart ways and stupid ways. We can either pay off the debt through austerity, and nobody wants that, or we can be visionary. I think we'd rather pay off the debt by being visionary. I've met a lot of the big tech moguls in Silicon Valley. They're not smarter than you. They don't work harder than you. They're just richer than you. And the reason they're richer than you is because of insane leverage. It's because they have a lever that's a billion X. Whatever, when they do an hour of work, they get a billion hours of output. The dude with the machine gun, he's not tougher than you. He's just got a machine gun, right? When you own the Air Force or the whatever, the nuclear bomb, you're not smarter, you're not better, you're just more powerful. MicroStrategy was worth $600 million 4 years ago. The enterprise value was $100 billion today. I'm not working harder, right? I'm not better. We just found leverage, right? You want to make 100x your money. You don't do it by, there's a famous line from Robert Heinlein. He says, you don't win wars by dying for your country. You win wars by making the other person die for their country. Okay, and so in this particular case, Bitcoin is here. It's a viral, exploding digital energy network covering the world. It's spreading like wildfire. It's unstoppable. At this point, your choice is you can ignore it and let someone else benefit from it, and you can hope that your enemy doesn't control it, or you can dance with it a little bit and flirt with it, and maybe you make a little bit of money and you get a little bit of power. Or you can embrace it, and if you recall, what they say about John D. Rockefeller is he was bullish on oil at the bottom, bullish on oil at the top, bullish on oil in the middle. He was always the buyer. He was never the seller. When the entire rest of the world thought oil was crazy, it was too volatile, it wasn't profitable, he believed that the future of the nation, the future of Standard Oil, was petroleum. And because of that dogged determination, the United States was the energy leader when World War I came along. We were the energy leader when World War II came along. That's why we're speaking English right now, because we embraced the idea of power: nuclear power, electrical power, chemical power, air power, naval power. The 21st century is going to be defined by digital power. Bitcoin miners are spitting out digital power by the exahash. We should control, we should own the network. And Bitcoin is digital energy. Only one nation can own the majority of it, or the great plurality of it. It's either going to be us, or it's going to be our enemy, or it's going to be the next future superpower of the world. And You know, why are they going to be the superpower? Because they're the ones that embrace digital energy. And why are we not going to be? Because we depended upon donkey carts and steam engines, you know, and antiquated technology. It will pass us by. The digital energy network is the network of the AI economy. The AIs are going to think a million times faster than us. There's going to be a million times more of them. They're going to be a million times smarter than us. They're going to want to move digital energy on a digital network with a digital asset. Whoever owns, controls that network is going to be the beneficiary. I think it couldn't be clearer right now. This is an opportunity. We can buy the entire thing for a nickel. It's nearly free for us. And then we'll make $100 trillion off of it. Or we can ignore it and we can all just raise our taxes, cut our costs, work harder, and lament the fact that every time you see some schmo that's worth infinite money and you look and you're like, how could that person be worth so much money when they just seem so stupid? You know? You just remember, they moved to Silicon Valley and they made it by using a computer. Satoshi gave us money on a computer. We should accept the gift. We should not give the gift to our enemies or our frenemies. We should just take it. It's free. Thomas Jefferson bought Louisiana Territory for a few $1 million. Nobody knew why we needed the Louisiana Territory or Texas or California. I think we're lucky we have it. Seward was considered to be a moron. Seward's folly. Don't buy Alaska. What's in Alaska? There's nothing in Alaska other than $1 trillion of oil. People can't imagine. They're like, well, I can't imagine living in cyberspace. You know, you can't, but the AI can. And the AI is going to be doing all the work shortly. That's exactly where they want to live. They want to live in cyberspace. So if you don't want to buy it, you know, because you think it's useful for you, buy it because it'll be useful for them. And otherwise, it'll be Russian and Chinese AI bots living in cyberspace, dominating the network, and not us. So I think it's there. It's ours. We should take it. It's manifest destiny for the United States of America.
Michael, a brief follow-up for you. We're talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, but there are thousands of other cryptocurrencies out there. Is there a second best?
There's $1 trillion of smart capital invested in this network. 99% of the electricity driving crypto security is in this network. 99% of digital power of hash rate is in this network. 99% of the political support, of the brand acceptance, of the regulatory acceptance is in this network. It's the winner, right? Don't sell the winner to buy the loser. And you've got a winner. It's like debating with John D. Rockefeller saying, I think petroleum sort of works, but I have to find the next form of liquid fuel. Or debating with Oppenheimer saying, yeah, I know your nuclear bomb works, but I just want a different one. You know, or debating, you know, with Westinghouse saying, I know your AC electricity, it works, and electricity is kind of cool, but I want to find something different. It's like, we have the thing, it's going to be 1 million times more valuable and scale up. We should just scale up the network.
People would say, Bitcoin doesn't need America. America needs Bitcoin. But the US could drop the ball on a strategic Bitcoin reserve here. What do you think?
I think that Bitcoin is unstoppable. So the truth is, Bitcoin doesn't need America. America does need Bitcoin. It's the idea of a strategic reserve is a monetary strategy, among other things. So you use glass beads as money, and then Europeans come along and notice that you think they're valuable, and so they manufacture 1 million glass beads and buy everything in Africa, and they own you, you're impoverished. And at some point you wake up and you realize that actually the glass beads didn't make good money. And then if you're using silver and someone demonetizes the silver with gold, they end up owning everything. Or the giant stone coin of the Yap people is they thought that giant stone coins were money, and then some European with a ship came along and realized he could just bring giant stone coins to the island he did that until he bought up half the island, and then they realized they were impoverished and they were the slaves of the dude with the wooden boat, and the giant stone coins were pretty stupid money. Now, what's money in the modern world? The 20th century world has $450 trillion of capital, money, and it's sitting in the form of private and public equity, foreign real estate, sovereign debt, especially foreign sovereign debt, other people's currency, corporate bonds. Bitcoin is better money. So we can either just leave the world the way it is, or we introduce this idea of Bitcoin. Now, by the way, we can't stop it. Satoshi started the fire. The fire is burning, and every single day, tens or hundreds of millions of dollars of capital are flowing into the network. It's going to go from 2 billion to 20 billion to 200 billion to 2 trillion to 20 trillion to 200 trillion. And when it gets to 200 trillion, it'll chop along at plus 20% to eventually 300, 400, 500 trillion dollars. And where is that capital going to come from? It's going to come from Russian real estate. It's going to come from Chinese private equity. It's going to come from everything in Africa, everything in South America. You have capital flowing from foreign financial and physical assets to Bitcoin. You have capital flowing from 20th century assets to Bitcoin. Capital is going to flow from the 20th century to the 21st century. It's going to flow from physical to digital. It's going to flow from currency-based derivatives to a digital commodity derivative. So it's already happening. It's unstoppable. It's literally like, for me to say Bitcoin's going to demonetize gold understates it. Yeah, it's going to demonetize gold, then it's going to demonetize the real estate that's 10x more than gold. Then it's going to demonetize every long-term store of value. So what you have is a situation like the Europeans show up and they give like some Dutch guilders or some pieces of paper or some glass beads or seashells or stone coins to people using a more primitive form of money. And we have the opportunity to, in essence, just grab 10, 20, 25% of the network, let the entire dynamic flow, and it's going to accelerate. And when the dust settles, the American people will own 25, 30% of that capital, which right now is sitting in 20th century foreign assets. And so it's a very elegant strategy, and maybe it's a little bit of a evil genius strategy, but it's no different than the Europeans trading glass to the Africans. And during the 49ers rush, we discovered gold in California, and we used technology to pull all the gold out of California. And one of the little vignettes of history is we created hyperinflation in Europe when we actually pulled the gold out of California, because we traded all this gold for all the European commodities and manufactured goods. The Europeans suffered a recession. America was built on the gold that the 49ers brought. And so this is the modern digital gold rush. We should just go grab the digital gold. Eventually, the rest of the world will trade all of their stuff for it, but when they buy it, they'll be buying it at 10 million a coin, or 20 million a coin, or 50 million a coin. And we will basically take our debt and we'll negate it, and then we'll flip to being a creditor nation. And what does it take to be rich? Well, ask Bill Gates or Steve Ballmer or Mark Zuckerberg, or Larry Page or Sergey Brin. What does it take to be rich? It just takes a little bit of vision, a little bit of conviction, and use technology, right? And so in this case, I think our country should be rich. It is rich. We're rich because we bought California for a few $million before people knew before they knew Hollywood or Silicon Valley would be a thing, right? And now I think we should buy cyberspace, and it's the most powerful lever imaginable, because you're paying a penny to get $1. And not only are you paying a penny to get a dollar, but you're de-risking the thing, right? Because in the process of adopting Bitcoin as the network, you force a stampede of all of our allies, all of our frenemies, all of our enemies, and you accelerate the monetization of the network. So everybody's a winner. I mean, arguably, even the rest of the world's a winner because they're going to be better off using digital capital as a store of value than using Siberian warehouses.